coming to you live from Brooklyn in New York City. My name is Tara. I'm a professional singer, as well as a vocal coach, voice teacher, all the good things. And I have daily offerings. Hey, Timmy in Greenpoint, what's up? When I first moved to New York City in 2012, late 2012, and I was trying to figure out how the heck to be a singer here, I did a lot of nannying, and the first family that I nannied for was in Greenpoint. So I know Greenpoint well. It's nice to see you here, friend. And I am actually, if you're interested, Timmy, I'm working to put together a meetup for Harmony Nerd community members who live in New York City, meetup in Manhattan. So we can talk about this nerdy music stuff live if you're interested. So just keep your eye on my profile on my link tree, and I'm going to be scheduling a get together, I think, for middle to end of February. Probably somewhere in like central Manhattan, because a lot of people who pop in are from Queens. So thanks for the follow, my friend. I appreciate it. Hannah, you come visit us. You said you wanted to come to New York. Come visit us. If you make a trip to New York, you let me know and I will schedule a meetup for when you are in New York. That would be so fun. So fun. Anyway, as usual, she's distracted. So I have offerings daily, free music education offerings. I started my content creation journey about, hi, Melody, I'm good. No worries about missing the other lives. I've started double streaming. So I'm on TikTok here and I'm on YouTube here now. And I'm going to be posting the live streams to YouTube. I just started this yesterday. And I keep telling myself, like, you got to start somewhere because the quality on YouTube over here is not where I want it to be yet. But I'm still figuring out like a streaming platform, OBS. So unfortunately, you can't stream simultaneously to TikTok and YouTube unless you have a Windows computer. So I feel like I might have to buy a cheap Windows computer in order to do that. Anyway, I'm so happy to see so many of you here today. There's so much engagement in the comments. I love that so much. Hi, I don't know how to say Kynark. Sorry if I butchered that, but yeah, this is ear training. So I do music theory Mondays, and yesterday we talked about scale degrees, thank you for the heart me, and musical intervals, and we learned how to build a triad with a major third, so a major triad, and then the perfect fifth above that to create the full major triad. So what we're going to do today is we're going to apply that music theory knowledge to ear training. You don't have to have come yesterday to hang out and understand what's going on here. If you do want a deeper understanding of the music theory that we talked about yesterday, you can go to my link tree. And in my link tree, if you click the top button there, it'll say join my email list and receive a free ear training PDF. If you join my email list, you'll get a PDF in your inbox immediately, and that will explain to you how you can ear train on your own, even if you don't play piano. The instructions are very detailed, and it includes hyperlinks to like virtual online pianos. So if you missed that yesterday, never fear. And also the Music Theory Monday will be posted on my YouTube, hopefully by tomorrow. Okay. So thanks everybody for hanging out. We're going to be working on major triads today. So yesterday we talked about how to use scale degrees and how to build major triads, okay? And so today we're going to work on ear training, major triads. Why is ear training so important, especially if my platform is all about learning how to sing harmonies? So if you want to learn how to sing vocal harmony, you have to become extremely familiar with the concept of this triad that I'm mentioning, that I'm speaking of. It has to become second nature because so many harmonies in Western music are built upon this idea of 1, a 3, a 5, a 3, and a 1. Okay, so if you were trained maybe in chorus more as a singer, you might know this as do, mi, sol, mi, do. Okay. So, but we can also use scale degrees in order to define. So do, mi, sol, mi, do is what we call solfege syllables, Solfege. Okay. And when I'm using the numbers, I'm using the scale degrees. 1, 3, 5, 3, 1. It is. It is taking everybody back to school. Welcome to my platform, free music education. I realized as I started my content creation journey from the comments that I was receiving from people creating these music education videos, trying to make music theory and singing techniques more accessible to the general population, that there was a huge need for it. That this information, if you weren't fortunate like I was to have an amazing music theory class in high school, you're not getting this information. It's behind quite a high paywall. So, yes. The NBC jingle, I think, is a 6th, Timmy. NBC. So it is a triad, but it's an inverted triad. The 5th is on the bottom. 5, 1, 3, instead of 1, 3, 5. So inversions are on the docket for a Music Theory Monday. I won't get too in the weeds with them, but we will be learning about those in the next couple of weeks. You study voice in university. The memories. Welcome back. Welcome back. So today we're going to be working on triads in their root position. The NBC theme that we just talked about for a second there, it is a triad, but it's kind of like flipped on its head. That's why we call it inversion. Instead of the 1 being on the bottom, the 1 or the root of the triad being on the bottom, the 5 was on the bottom. And we'll learn about those things in a couple of weeks. So, it was nice to see you, Melody. Take care. This is why I got a 1 on my AP Music Theory exam. That's all right. I can't promise you that you'll get to take the exam again, but I can help you with the knowledge. Oh, that's so interesting, Kainar, that you're a sign language interpreter. I always said that I wished I had gone to school for that instead, hoping that I would make a little bit more money than I have as a musician. But sign language is it's so beautiful and so expressive. So do you like it? I'm curious. Let me know. All right. So when we're building a triad, we need 3 pieces of the puzzle. And I call most interpreters have a musical background. That is not surprising to me. Oh, thanks for the snowflake keychain. Appreciate you, Melody. Hi, Tara. Nice to see you here. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so when we're building a triad, I like to call the outsides, the 1 and the 5, the bread of the sandwich. And then the 3rd is the middle of the sandwich. Today we're working with major thirds, sounds like this, but they can also be minor thirds, okay? We'll talk about that next week. Right now we're working with a major third. So where's my iPad? I would love to show you all. Give me 1 second, please. When we're building a triad, it requires musical intervals, and the bread of the sandwich, the outsides of the chord. I've tapped as much as I can and followed. I guess I should go back to work. You have a great day, Tara. I'm Tara too. I feel like we've met before. Right, good to see you again. So we're building a 5th, and if you were here yesterday for Music Theory Monday, we worked a lot with building 5ths on the keyboard. Okay, so I'm gonna start on C for simplicity. This is a C and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 above C, okay, is a perfect 5th. This is always gonna be the bread of your sandwich. In order to build a perfect 5th, it is not always as easy as what I just counted. You need to use a formula based on half steps. Okay. If you want to learn that formula, go ahead and download the free PDF that's in my link tree. It's the first button for joining my email list. You have to count half steps in order to find a perfect 5th starting anywhere on the keyboard, right? Because sometimes maybe we start on a black key and then the perfect 5th is another black key, but it also so happens sometimes we start on a black key and the perfect 5th is a white key. So the way that we make sure our formula is correct every time is by counting in half steps. All right. I love it. Casually walk in the black void and bring back gadgets. Yes. I know. It's so funny, especially when I look so tiny and like I'm just floating. Were you here the other day? I had black leggings on, so I looked like just a torso. It was so funny. In our old skills class, it was always fun to hear the instrumentalist try to sing. I feel that way in my bands. I feel like I probably shouldn't talk smack, but I feel like the guitarist often wants to sing leads on a song or two, and I'm like, mm. I always encourage people, always, but when somebody's paying $20,000 for a band to be at their private event, the singer's got to sing, you know. Anyway, let's get back to talking. Let's get back to talking about building triads here. So we need the outsides of the sandwich. The bread of the sandwich is going to be your perfect fifth. Okay. There are 7 half steps in a perfect fifth. And then we need to create the middle of the sandwich. We're doing a major triad. So right now that's going to sound like this. Okay. So when we're ear training, in order to memorize what a triad sounds like so that we can use this to sing harmonies, we need to first, what I usually start with is learning how to hear the fifth first, because this is a very, very common interval in Western music, and it's easier for the human ear to grab onto than many other intervals. Major thirds are quite tricky. So then the major third is the next interval I learn, okay? Or I will teach you. So today we're going to actually work on 3 intervals. So stick with me because this part is a little bit confusing. We're going to work on the perfect fifth, okay? I feel like this is the basis of any triad, okay? Then we're going to work on the major third, which is from the 1, the first note of the triad, to the 3, the second note of the triad. But when we play a full triad, there's a third interval in here. We have a perfect fifth, and then we have a major third, and then we also have this interval that connects the 3 to the 5. Does anybody know what that interval is from the 3 to the 5? Kind of, my music theory teacher always had fun when we were working on like contemporary, like modern, like John Cage kind of compositions. And I would be like, I want to sing mine. And he'd be like, seriously, you're going to try to sing this like, da, da, dee, doo, dee, da, dee, da. I was like, yes, I am going to try to sing it. Emphasis on the word try. Perfect fourth is a great guess to me. And when we invert the chord like we did for the NBC theme, the 5 to the 1 is a perfect fourth. But the difference between the 3 and the 5 is a minor third. So we have a couple of ways we can think about building triads. We can build the perfect fifth and then build the third in the middle, whether we want major or minor, or we can think of it like stacking thirds, right? If I think of it this way, I'm stacking a major third below a minor third. Okay, either of these works. So whatever works better for your brain, run with it, okay? I'm going to teach you the intervals to hear the intervals in this order. We're going to do a perfect fifth, then we're going to do a major third, then we're going to do a minor third, okay? And we're also going to determine in this session if your ear is more naturally drawn to higher pitches or lower pitches, okay? Some perfects sound a little spooky and others sound majestic. Yeah. So a minor plus a major third equals a triad. Yes. And the order in which you do a major third or a minor third determines the quality of the chord. If I stack a major third on the bottom and a minor third on the top, it's a major chord. If I stack a minor third on the bottom and then a major third on the top, it becomes a minor triad. When my fingers hit the right keys, okay? Sounds like that. I'll play it on the real piano so you don't have to hear me play wrong notes. Okay? So when we are ear training, we're developing something called Wow, there went my brain. We're developing something called relative pitch. And so relative pitch is about memorizing the distance between the notes, because I just showed you how to build a triad starting from a C, okay? But we can build a triad starting from any note on the keyboard. See, so I just started building chords on totally different notes, totally different places of the keyboard, but they still have the same quality. They still have the same distance between every single pitch. So when we're ear training, we are trying to memorize and retain the relationship from one note to the other. How far is the distance? What does that feel like in my vocal instrument? And can I internalize it so that I can then apply it to singing? I've been told by past music teachers I have perfect pitch. Does that mean you inherently know the distance without any prompt? I don't believe so. I think that perfect pitch is interpreted in a bunch of different ways. For instance, I had a friend in high school who had perfect pitch, and like when she heard a song in a recording key, she could never hear it in another key. It was like her ear attached exactly to the pitches that were played for her, and then she couldn't move those pitches around, relatively speaking. I think in my understanding of perfect pitch means if I were to say like sing a C, middle C to you, that you would be able to just sing it. I don't know that I fully understand it though, because I've seen so many different amalgamations of it. Yeah. No, it's okay. I'm very easily distracted. So what we're going to do with relative pitch, I don't think I have my ear trained. Well, we're about to train it. So get ready. All right. So what I do in order to develop relative pitch is I use songs, and songs will help you memorize the space between the intervals. The tricky part about this is being able to move the starting pitch. So we're going to do some exercises now, and I'm going to leave it in the same place until we feel confident and comfortable. But then I'm going to start moving it, around the keyboard. And that's when it gets tricky, because what you have to ask your ear to do is to reset your internal tonation. Okay. So thank you for sharing the live, Resting in Jesus. I appreciate it. All right. So I'm going to start on a G. All right. Doesn't matter if you're not familiar with that note. It's this note. You can sing it here, or if you have a lower voice, you can sing it down there. I can't sing that note, but if you can, go for it. Here, or maybe you have a high voice and you want to sing up here. So find the G that works for you, okay? Now, using the G as our starting place, so the G is going to become our 1, meaning the basis of our triad. So now we have to build a 3 and a 5 above it. Right now, we're just going to focus on the 5, okay? So here's our 1. What tools am I going to use to find a 5? Where I'm going to use either Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, or if you all have seen The Wizard of Oz, the old movie from the 1930s, the guards in front of the witch's castle goes, oh, wee, oh, yo-ho. That is a perfect 5th, up and down. So that's a really good one to use, because you have both ascending. Ascending means going from the low pitch to the high pitch. And you have descending. Descending means going from the high pitch to the low pitch. So when we use oh, we, oh, yo-ho, we have both, okay? If you're not familiar with that, you're probably familiar with Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, or the ABCDEFG song, okay? The first 2 twinkles and Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star are also a perfect 5th. Twinkle, twinkle, okay? I was slightly out of tune in my pitch center, but I was generally on the correct note, okay? So this is how we're going to find a perfect 5th. So now we're going to practice along at home. And the way this exercise works is I'm going to play a note for you, and I'm going to use Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, because I think that is more universally known. And Twinkle, Twinkle, Twinkle is the same as A, B, C, D, E, F, G. They're the same song. So whichever one works for you. That song is actually by Mozart. Fun little trivia fact for you. So what's going to happen is I'm going to play a pitch and I'm going to say, this is your one. Can you use a tool from your toolkit, a song from our toolkit to find your 5? Okay. And then I want you to sing what you think the answer is at home and hold it until I play the answer. So then you can check yourself if you got it correct. Okay. Is a 7th major chord a minor chord? Seventh chords are sticky kind of. There's a million. There's diminished 7th, there's major 7th, there's minor 7th, there's augmented 7th. There are so many 7th chords that's super sticky. This is something that we could get into on a Music Theory Monday in a few weeks from now. But what I recommend in the meantime is if you go to Google and just Google how to build 7th chords, it should come up, and there's 4 major 7th chords that you can build, and they have all different sorts of qualities to them. Okay, so back to our perfect 5th practice. We're going to start right where we started. So here's your 1. Everybody sing Twinkle, or you can sing 1. The reason I'm teaching in scale degree numbers or in numbers versus solfege syllables is because if you want to sing with a band, it's a lot easier to communicate to instrumentalists using numbers, because they're not going to necessarily know do, re, mi, fa, so, but they will know 1, 3, 5. They will know that. Okay, so this is our 1. This is our first twinkle. I want you all to go ahead and sing the second twinkle at home. Ready? Twinkle. And go ahead and hold your note. Now here comes the answer. Twinkle, twinkle, are you singing this note at home? Let me know in the comments if you got it correct. So if you were singing the second note I just played, then you got it correct, and congratulations. That means that your ear is starting to internalize the relative distance between a 1 and a 5, also known as the musical interval of a perfect 5th. Hey, Anna, nice to see you here, honey. You got it. I love that. Cool. Yes, but there's always a chance I'm tone deaf. So fun fact, Timmy, tone deafness and perfect pitch, they're both a spot on the brain that less than 2% of the population possesses. So tone deafness is actually super rare, which means the majority of the population can be taught to sing. Is it going to be easier for some people than others? Of course, everybody's brain works differently. But I am personally of the belief that anybody can learn to do it, even if you do have that spot on the brain. Like, I really do believe, like, to the depths of my being, that human beings we're amazing mystical creatures, and we're capable of absolutely anything we put our minds to. So that healed your inner child. I love that. I've been doing a lot of inner child work lately in therapy and in my support groups. So that resonates with me deeply right now. Let's all give our inner child a little quick hug. Love you, little Tara. Let's do some sight singing. Okay. So, and I also do another offering that I have is called Frequency Fridays. And that is more like the soul side of singing and confidence building and nervous system regulation, because singing is great for nervous system regulation. So feel free to join me on Friday if that sort of stuff interests you. As you could tell, I'm a very thoroughly therapized human. All right. So now we're going to try to find a perfect 5th somewhere completely different. Okay. So what I like to do is to create some musical chaos, some cacophony, so that I try to forget what we just did. Try to get the one we just did out of your head. Okay. Now I'm going to start an entirely new thing. Okay. Which means you have to reset your internal intonation. We're getting a new one. We're getting a new starting place, okay? If you have a low voice here, if you have a medium voice here, if you have a high voice up here, okay? Pick your starting pitch. This is your first twinkle, okay? Twinkle. Go ahead and try to find the second twinkle. Sing it out loud. Here comes the answer. Twinkle, twinkle, who's singing this note? Let me know in the comments if you got it correct or if you didn't get it correct. Because a lot of times if you're not successful, it could be that your ear just needs more time, or there could be a hole in my teaching. So let me know if you got it. How do we do with that one? I tend to want to sing most during my monthly time, so that makes sense. Yeah, it's very soothing. The vibrations calm the vagus nerve, so it's really helpful for the nervous system. Ayana Tove too. You are hearing the Flintstones theme song to me. So on the way up is Twinkle, Twinkle. But if you want to do it in the reverse, Flintstones, be the Flintstones. Okay. And it's good to have a song for both the ascending, going from low to high, and descending, going from high to low. Okay. This is so helpful. I'm so glad, Ayana. I know, it's so fun, right? It's like a puzzle. It's like a puzzle. I'm such a music theory nerd. I always have been. And I'm glad to have found my people here. Because I feel like music theory is polarizing. You either love it or you're like, it makes no sense. Or maybe somewhere in between. All right, let's do another one. Resting in Jesus, you feel like you went a little bit too high. Okay, so when we do this next one, I want you to sing Twinkle, Twinkle, or A, B, C, D, E, F, G in your head. And then the way you can cross-check it is use Timmy's trick. See, find your pitch and then sing the Flintstones backwards. Did you land back on the note that I'm playing? That's a good way to like cross-check yourself. Do I have YouTube videos for this too? I'm in the process of creating them. I just started a YouTube channel and I'm migrating my TikTok content there, but I am on YouTube Live right now as well. Nobody is there because it's a very small channel still, but I'm the same handle on YouTube. I would love if you would follow me there. I am planning to build out longer lessons. Like I'm still going to keep creating short form content for TikTok and YouTube Shorts, but then connect it to longer lessons. So it's the same handle, at Resident Harmony Nerd on YouTube, or in my link tree. If you go to my link tree, I think it's the second button down will take you right to my YouTube so you can subscribe. I would appreciate that. YouTube is helpful just because I'm trying to build it. But right now I'm still learning YouTube and I'm more of like a TikTok pro. So but I'm on YouTube right now. The same exact thing is being streamed, one from my laptop, one from my TikTok. So wherever you want to go is fine. I just think we never know what's happening with TikTok in the United States. So I wanted to start building a YouTube channel because we don't know the fate of this app in 60 days or however many days we have left. Do they teach theory and choir practice? Thina, it depends. Not really. It depends on your school and your teacher. I just happened to have a music theory class at my high school that was phenomenal. It was like AP style music theory, and there was a level 1 and a level 2. And my teachers were really phenomenal. I actually never had music theory in college, but when I got to musical theater school, I had a much deeper musical foundation than even some of my teachers, actually, which was a little depressing because I was like, why am I paying these people? I have more knowledge than they do. It's not their fault, but I was also like, college is expensive. So long answer long, I do have a YouTube and I would love if you all would go follow me there as well. As I'm building it out, that would be a really lovely gift and a really beautiful way to support me. So thank you so much. Okay, so now we're going to clear our musical palette again. We're going to have a new 5, okay? Low voices, medium voices, high voices. All right. Here's your twinkle. Can you find your 5? The second twinkle. So go ahead and sing your twinkle. Sing your second twinkle. And then resting in Jesus or other people who feel like maybe they sang the wrong pitch last time, can you take the note you're singing, you take your guess, and can you sing the first 2 notes of the Flintstones theme? And do you land on this note? If you do, chances are you have it correct. Did that make sense? Do you want me to say that again before I give the answer? Let me know. Again, please, you got it. Sure. So here's our one, twinkle. So you want to try to find the next twinkle or the O, O-E-O, okay? So you want to sing your guess, twinkle, then sing your guess. And then you can also try going from your guess back down to here. If you sing your guess and then you sing the Flintstones, do you land back on this note? That's another way to cross-check. Thanks, Ayana. I appreciate that. Okay, here comes the answer, and I will show you what I meant about the Flintstones. Twinkle, twinkle. So here's my guess. Awesome, you landed back. So here's my guess, and this is the note I was playing before. So I would go Flintstones. Oh, okay, I think I got it right. Twinkle, twinkle, Flintstones, meet the Flintstones. Okay, seems like I got it correct. Cool, you landed back. So I imagine that means you got this one right. How'd everybody else do? Let me know in the comments. Hello, YouTube friend. My name is Tara, and I'm new to YouTube, but I have a TikTok live going on at the same time, and we're doing some ear training today, so thanks for hanging out. All right. YouTube was a little laggy. Good to know. Thank you, Timmy. I think I am going to buy a separate laptop to do streaming with because my little workhorse baby she's been working for a long time. Okay, let's try 2 more of these perfect fifths. We're going to start from here now. Find your starting pitch. The one or your first twinkle, low voices, high voices, middle voices. Twinkle. Go ahead and sing your guess. Cross-check it with the Flintstones if you like. All right, here comes the answer. Twinkle, twinkle, Flintstones. How'd we do? Did we get it? All right, one more of these. All right, where do I want to do this one? Let's do here. Twinkle, low voices, medium voices, high voices. Twinkle. Go ahead and sing your guess. Twinkle. If you're singing this note, you got it correct. Congratulations. Flintstones. How'd we do? How did we do with perfect fifths in general? Do we have any questions? Because we're going to move on. All right. Now I'm going to tackle major and minor thirds at the same time, which sounds wild, I know. But I want to do a quick little test. And in this little test, we're going to determine if you hear high notes more predominantly or low notes more predominantly. There's no right or wrong answer here. We are just testing our ear to give ourselves some information to help make ear training a little bit easier for us, okay? So we just worked a lot with perfect fifths, a 1 and a 5, okay? When I play a perfect fifth at the same time, there are 2 pitches here, a high pitch and a low pitch. So now we want to figure out, do you hear the high pitch before the low pitch or the low pitch before the high pitch? Because this is going to be good information to help me help you find thirds, okay? So listen again. I want you to sing the note you hear. No wrong answer. Just sing one and hold it. Okay. And now we want to determine, are you singing the high note or the low note? Are you singing this note? If you're singing this note, then your ear is attracted to the low note. Or are you singing this one? The high note, that means your ear is more attracted to the high pitch. Let me know in the comments. Are you a high note person or a low note person? Ayana hears both, but low first. Okay, good to know. So your ear is more attracted to the one or the root, the lower note. Both is a potential option. We're trying to figure out which one your ear is naturally drawn to. You sang out the high note. Yep. So I would say that one as well. Yep. And the reason we're trying to figure this out is because now, if we know if you hear the low note or the high note more predominantly, then we know when you want to build a triad, for people who heard the high note from the perfect fifth, you're going to want to go from high to low. For people who heard the low note, you're going to want to use a tool to go from low to high. Okay, so I'm going to teach you both. You know, I'm a classic attention-seeking tenor. That's hilarious. Okay. And I think that it's evolutionarily speaking, most people tend to hear high notes easier because, you know, back in the day, if somebody was screaming, we would know that meant danger and to stay away. So our ears were attuned to hear high pitches. But if you're like me and you were an alto in school choir for years, then you trained your ear to hear lower pitches. So no wrong answer here. I need a tissue. I will be right back. Please excuse me. I had that horrible flu that was going around, and it's still sticking a little bit, but generally better. All right. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to teach two separate techniques. I know it's been awful. It's so terrible. It's been like 10 days and I'm still just blah. Yeah, it's pretty terrible. I'm glad that you're feeling better, Tinny. So, okay, now we need tools. So for the people who heard the high pitch first, in order to find the third, it's this middle note. I'm going to teach you how to sing a descending minor third. So that means going from high to low. So that when I play the fifth, you're like, oh, I hear the high note, so I'm going to find the high note, and then I'm going to find the third below. So the song that I like to use for this interval, the minor third that is descending. Hey, Jude. I ask my cat to do things all the time. I'm like, I make dinner for you. Can you please make dinner for me tonight? He's like, I'm like, okay, great. So here's your open fifth, also known as a perfect fifth. The reason it's open is because there's no third in the middle. Okay. So we have 1, 5. You want to find the high pitch and then go, hey, Jude. And I'm singing the Beatles song, Hey Jude, which I know a lot of my Gen Z students do not know the Beatles. So does anybody not familiar with Hey Jude? We can find another song. Hey Jude. Let me know in the comments. Don't be afraid. That song. Take a sad song. Okay. I'm going to move on. Let me know in the comments if we need to find another option. If you heard the low notes first, like Ayana, you're going to start on the 1, and in order to find the not familiar. Okay. I'll look up another one after I teach the major thirds. So for major thirds, you're going to start on the low pitch. Okay, I have a lower ear, so my ear picked up this one first. In order to find the major third from the lower note, we're going to sing the first 2 pitches of Oh, When the Saints Go Marching In. Okay? Oh, when the saints go marching in. But I'm going to stop on the when. Oh, when. And can you hear how I'm filling out the chord now with the third? Can I do it with a broken heart? I don't think I know that song. I act like it's my birthday, so I don't know that I can, excuse me, say definitively because I'm not entirely certain. Okay. Did that make sense with "Oh When the Saints Go Marching In"? And does everybody know "Oh When the Saints Go Marching In"? I'm looking up some other options right now. Yes, it makes sense. Okay. Oh, I don't want an interval quiz. Oh, my goodness. It's like every time I think I'm getting better, I end up getting an attack. All right. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to find a specific chart. Interval song chart so that we can find other, there it is. Okay, on earmaster.com, there's something called interval song chart generator, and that's a really great tool for ear training. So minor thirds, we can do Hey Jude. We can do Frosty the Snowman, Frosty. Okay, so Frosty is another option for minor third descending. The first two pitches of the Star Spangled Banner. Oh, say. So actually, the whole first three notes of the Star Spangled Banner, which is, for those who aren't American, that's our national anthem. The first three pitches are the entire triad going from high to low. 5, 3, 1, oh, say. Okay. Can you feel the love tonight? Can you feel the love tonight? Can you? Okay. And those are the options that I think are most familiar. If you don't know "Oh When" for "Oh When the Saints," to find the third from the bottom up, "Oh When." You can also use "Kumbaya" is a great one because, like the Star Spangled Banner, it does the entire triad from low to high. Kumbaya, 1, 3, 5. Okay. Same with Obla D, but if you don't know Hey Jude from the Beatles, you probably don't know Obla D from the Beatles. That's Obla D, 1, 3, 5, Obla da, life goes on, life goes on. Okay. So there's a couple options for major thirds from low to high and minor thirds from high to low. So does everybody have a song? Would this be do, re, mi, or am I missing it? The triad is do, mi, sol, 1, 3, 5. Do, re, mi is the scale without skipping notes. The triad is built in thirds, so we skip the 2 and the 4, or the re and the fa. Does that make sense? 1, 3, 5, do, mi, sol. Okay. So now the next exercise, I'm going to play a perfect fifth. Okay. And what I want you to do is, using the information we gathered earlier, which was, do you hear the high note or the low note? I want you to find either respectively the high note or the low note in the perfect fifth, and then use a tool to find the third. So if you hear the low note, you're going to use "Oh When the Saints" or "Kumbaya" to find the third in the middle. If you heard the high note more predominantly, then you're going to use "Hey Jude" or "Frosty the Snowman" or the Star Spangled Banner to find the middle note. Okay. So here's my first example. Sing the high note or the low note, and then use the song of your choice to either go from the high note to the third or the low note to the third. If you're going from low to high, you're going to sing a major third. If you're going from high to low, you'll be singing a minor third. Okay? Go ahead and sing your guess. Here comes the answer. 3. This is the 3. How did I get here? If I was hearing the low note, I went, oh, when the saints, oh, when. If I was hearing the high note, I went, frosty, frosty. Did that make sense? Do you understand how from both sides of the fifth, I was able to find the third in the middle? And even though if you're singing from the high note to the middle note, you're singing a minor third, it's still considered the major third because the chord is major. I hope that's not too confusing. They're doing some sort of construction outside my window all morning. Sorry if you all can hear that. It's very annoying. Sounds like they have a jackhammer to the sidewalk. Okay, Brooklyn. Now you're hearing it. Cool. Awesome. So let's try another one. I'm going to give you guys a totally new fifth. Okay, it's going to be here. Yeah, it probably is a new Sweet Green. They're tearing down all the buildings in my neighborhood to build high rises that nobody needs. Clearly, I have opinions about it, but we won't talk about it. I have this beautiful view of Eastern Brooklyn. I'm sure I won't have it very much longer. But, all right. Find your high note or your low note, and then use your tool to find the middle pitch. Okay, here comes the answer. 3. How did I get here? I either went frosty or I went oh when. So whether I heard the high note or the low note first, I used those two songs, my tools in my toolkit to find that middle third. I lived in Bushwick for like 8 years. Then I moved to Jersey City during the pandemic, and now I'm in Kensington. And the gentrification is not going to stop until the entire city is unaffordable, unfortunately. So I'm deeply considering leaving when my lease is up. But that's a conversation for another time. And I'm sorry that you got priced out, but I'm not surprised either. I'm getting priced out of Kensington. It's like everywhere I go, you end up priced out in a couple of years. So how did we do with that one? Are we ready for another one? Well, let's do 2 more, and then I'm going to have to sign off around 11:45. So if you have any questions, let me know. And tomorrow, my offering is Warm Up Wednesday. It's going to be at 1:30 p.m. in the afternoon. Warm Up Wednesday is I show you all my warm up routine as a professional vocalist, and I tell you like the why and how of like why I do these things in this order and what each thing is good for. And that whole point is so that you can develop your own singing warm up routine. Thursdays, I offer free lessons on TikTok Live. So if you want to pre-register for that event in my profile, you can join me on TikTok Live and sing with me for 10 to 15 minutes. Some people join me with like a piece of a song that they're working on that they want advice with, or sometimes people are just like, hey, I would like to work on my intonation, or I would like to work on belting, or I would like to work on vibrato. And we spend that time on TikTok Live working together, and then everybody at home also gets that knowledge as well. And then Fridays, as I mentioned, are Frequency Fridays. So Music Theory Mondays, Ear Training Tuesdays, Warm Up Wednesdays, Voice Lesson Thursdays, and Frequency Fridays. And there you'll see them all listed in my live events on my profile. If you go to my profile picture's here, then my link tree is right under it. And then to the left of your screen, you'll see live events. And if you click on the live event, all of them will pop up from the bottom of the screen. You can pre-register, and TikTok will remind you. So will YouTube as well when I go live. And the times do change every week because I'm a freelancer, but also because I want people in time zones all across the world to be able to join in. So if you don't know what time something is, just go check my schedule. Might need a dedicated day to Gossip Live. So sometimes I pop on in the evenings. If you see me on at like 8 o'clock or later, I'm usually hosting karaoke just for fun. Everybody can pop in and grab a little box and sing a song or just hang out. It's like gossip hour. Also, sometimes I will just pop on too and like watch a show with you all. Like last night, The Voice was on, and my friend Dan is on this season of The Voice. So I was watching The Voice on live, and we were like talking about the different vocal techniques all the singers were using. I did that on New Year's too. Like I'm usually working on New Year's, but live music industry is slowly dying here in New York City. So a ton of musicians did not have work this New Year's. So instead, I sat on TikTok Live and did like a vocal coach reacts to the band, the performances at the ball drop. So if you're open to it, I'd love to see you perform. If you have anything coming up, yeah, I'll let you know if I have anything public to me. Most things are not public. Every once in a while, I used to do Red Lion, but now with the congestion pricing, I'm not driving into Manhattan to do $100 3-hour gig anymore. So I will definitely keep everybody informed. Yeah. I mean, to only get paid $100 for a 3-hour performance is already pretty low and kind of insulting, honestly. And then now you get paid even less because you have to pay to get into Manhattan. Like, no. No. I really hope that Red Lion's not having trouble getting musicians to come in because everybody has to pay that crazy thing. I wonder if I've seen you perform before on X. It's possible. Most of my public gigs are either like Red Lion or Prohibition on the Upper West Side or like the marathons. Like I have a friend who works for Roadrunner, so I usually have a band like playing in Times Square during the marathons. Yeah. I know it's really, really hard to be a live musician. So it's kind of why I'm stepping more into this education side and wanting to build community and figure out ways to get free music education to people. So anyway, let's do a couple more ear trainings with the time I have left. Thank you everybody for hanging out and participating. Let's try here. So this is for lower voices. Here's for higher voices. Okay. Find the note that you hear. Maybe you hear the high note. Maybe you hear the low note. Sing what you hear. And then use "Oh When the Saints" if you hear the low note, and use "Frosty the Snowman" if you hear the high note. We're trying to find that middle third. Okay, here comes the answer. 3. How did I get here? I went "Oh when" from low to 3. 1, 3, do, mi. How did I get here from the high note? I went "Frosty the Snowman, Frosty, 5 to 3, sol to mi." Okay. How do we do with that one? This is a hard concept. Are you all getting it, or is it a little bit difficult? There's totally no shame in being a beginner, or if this is tricky for you right now. That one was definitely tougher. Yeah, I moved around quite a bit that time. Tricky for me still. Okay, cool. So let's practice a couple more. Okay. Find your high note or your low note. I'll give you a little more time to figure this one out, okay? One of these pitches is low and one of these pitches is high, okay? I'm going to play the high note and the low note separately so that you have a solid foundation to start from, okay? Okay? So now you have a note to start from and use one of your tools. This will make it a little bit easier. This is like just taking a little baby step back in order to help our ear move forward. Ready? Here comes the answer. Mi or 3. How did I get here? Oh, when the saints, oh, when 1, 3, do, mi. Or maybe I went frosty, high to middle, 5 to 3, sol to mi. How did we do with that one? Timmy says it's so much easier for me when I start from the high note. But that's great to know. It is interesting. But especially if you're a tenor, that makes a lot of sense. So, and it really doesn't matter which way your ear falls naturally. It's really good information to use when you're ear training. And now you know too, Timmy, like, okay, well, I hear high notes to low notes easier, so maybe I should spend more time working on low notes to high notes because that's not my strong suit. Which is great information to have all together. Let's try another one. Okay. Low voices, high voices. Listen. Try to find your 3. I'm going to play the low note and the high note separately again, okay? So that you can find a starting ground if you weren't able to find it when I played the fifths together, okay? Here's the perfect open fifths, meaning there's no 3, there's no middle of the sandwich, just the bread. Okay, here's the low note. Here's the high note. The high note is the 5. The low note is the 1. Okay? Can you find the 3 in the middle? Ready for the answer? Here it comes. 3. I either went frosty to find the 3, or I went, oh, when the saints, oh, when 1, 3, 5, 3, do, mi, sol, mi. 3, major triad. We got it. Awesome. Okay, let's do one more. And then we'll close with doing just singing some triads to get them in our ears, okay? Last one for ear training today. Okay. Low open fifth, high open fifth. You got that one. Yay! I'm celebrating with you, resting in Jesus, and I'm celebrating with you, Ayana. Okay. Low, high. Try to find your low pitch or your high pitch, and now I'll play the 1 and the 5 separately, okay? Here's the 1 or the low note. Here's the 5 or the high note. Can you find the 3 in the middle? Here comes the answer. 3. 1, here's the low note. Oh, when the saints. 1, 3, do, mi. Or maybe you heard the 5. 5, 3, frosty the snowman, frosty. I'm so glad you're feeling the adrenaline flow. I love that. How do we do on that last one? Cool. So what I'm going to do in closing is we're just going to do some vocal warm-up style triads, and we're going to sing the whole triad to help it really settle in your muscle memory. And you want to also pay attention to how the difference feels in your voice, in your vocal mechanism, right? Because not only are we training our ear, but you'll start to memorize how the space between notes feels, not just how it sounds in your ears, but how it feels in your larynx and in your vocal instrument as well. Okay? Hey, Belinda. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to go up and down the scale. If it gets too high for your voice, please listen to your body drop out. If it gets too low for your voice, please listen to your body drop out. What we are using this for is to internalize a 1, 3, 5, a major triad, okay? Yeah. Tammy says, I've never thought about it for the physicality before. It's true, right? Because I've been singing in top 40 bands for over a decade. If I were to sing "We Found Love for You" right now, even though I do not have perfect pitch, it would be in the right key because it is etched in my vocal folds. I feel like my body could be no more, and my little voice box would be able to like jump out of my body and sing these top 40 songs like on their own, because it's just my body has memorized exactly what this feels like. Same thing with like I Want to Dance with Somebody or Don't Stop Believing. Like these songs I've sang millions of times, they are just like in there. If I get married, your lyrics is higher. Thank you. All right. So the exercise that we're going to do to internalize major triads is going to sound like this. 1, 3, 5, 3, 1. You could also say solfege if you prefer. Do, mi, sol, mi, do. I like to use numbers because numbers are easier to communicate with instrumentalists. 1, 3, 5, 3, 1. 1, 3, 5, 3, 1. Pay attention to how it feels in your voice, the space between each note. 1, 3, 5, 3, 1. 1, 3, 5, 3, 1. 1, 3, 5, 3, 1. 1, 3, 5, 3, 1. 1, 3, 5, 3, 1. 1, 3, 5, 3, 1. Back down. 1, 3, 5, 3, 1. A little rough for me through here, so I'm going to take a break. You keep going. 1, 3, 5, 3, 1. 1, 3, 5, 3, 1. 1, 3, 5, 3, 1. 1, 3, 5, 3, 1. 1, 3, 5, 3, 1. 1, 3, 5, 3, 1. 1, 3, 5, 3, 1. Two more. 1, 3, 5, 3, 1. 1, 3, 5, 3, 1. Any questions on that little warm-up? I do recommend doing that every day if you really want to learn how to harmonize and how to hear a triad. Doing that every day is going to be super helpful, and you'll be surprised how quickly your body, your muscle memory, and your ear will pick it up and remember it because it is all over Western music. If you've ever heard anybody talk about like a 1-4-5 chord progression, those are all major chords. And like 80%, maybe more, of modern pop songs are based on a 1-4-5. If you've ever seen that video on YouTube where the guy just plays the same chord progression over and over and sings like, I don't know, 15, 20 different pop songs over it. So this was amazing. I'm so excited I found your page. I'm glad you did too, Timmy. Thanks for being a part of it. I'm going to try and figure out how to subscribe on here via browser. Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that. Your larynx is definitely hired. Good job, little larynx. So let me know if there's any questions about any of the ear training we did today. For those who I haven't met yet, hi, welcome. My name is Tara, and this is the Harmony Nerd Community. It's a free online community for music education. I do accept tips. Anything helps to help me keep this content free. If you go to the link in my bio, you'll see a lot of different offerings, including you can join my email list by subscribing using the top button, and you'll receive a free PDF on how to ear train at home, whether you know how to play piano or not. It's very detailed instructions. And then you can also subscribe to my YouTube. That's the second button on my link tree. And then there's also an option to tip me. And if you click on that, it'll open up a document that has my Cash App, my Venmo, all the things. So question, do you have any vids to follow along with daily? So to help with harmonizing, I don't at this point, Belinda. There's a lot of content on my page for ear training, and I do have playlists at the top that you can use to work daily. And all of these live sessions, I'm live on YouTube right now too. I'm starting to build my YouTube channel. So these sessions are going to be posted on my YouTube after they're finished. But what I'm starting to do are these daily offerings. So Monday is Music Theory Mondays, and these are all live. Okay. And then Tuesdays, ear training Tuesdays. Wednesday is warm ups. Thursday is voice lessons, and Friday is Frequency Friday, which is about like confidence building and nervous system regulation and like the soul part of music. So if you can't join live, then the idea is that these sessions will then be posted on my YouTube so that you can still follow along on YouTube. Music Theory Monday and Ear Training Tuesdays are like sister lessons. The music theory that we learn on Monday will help with the ear training we do on Tuesday, but it's not like a requirement. It's not like you can't follow along on Tuesday if you don't come to the Monday. But like say today you were following along and learning the triads, but you were like, I don't really know how to build a triad on my own or how to practice a triad, then you would want to go watch the Music Theory Monday, because that would teach you how to do that. Also, the free PDF that you get when you sign up for my email list will teach you how to do that. But it's more like in words versus a video. So I'm working to build up my YouTube channel, and I also want to create kind of like an evergreen course that people can buy that's self-paced. So these things are all in the works. Yeah, thank you for asking. I appreciate it. You can also, if you're interested in working with me, you can send me a DM or an email about lessons. And if you want to improve your voice, but you don't want to commit to the financial obligation or the time obligation of weekly lessons or bi-weekly lessons, I offer both every week or every other week. I've come up with this thing called a vocal assessment. And what a vocal assessment is a 30-minute session online where you come to me already warmed up and you bring 2 songs to me. One song you feel really comfortable with and one song that you need help with. And then the first thing we do is we do a vocal exercise together. So I help you determine your vocal range. And then I have you sing to a karaoke track from YouTube or Spotify or something. I have you sing me the song you're really confident with. And then this gives me a really good idea of your vocal instrument, what you're really good at, where you could, use some help. And then we sing the second song. And with whatever time we have left over, I will coach you or train you, whatever you need, on the parts of that song that you struggle with the most. Then you get a recording back of our time together and also a spreadsheet. And the spreadsheet has like 7 or 8 different points of vocal technique, like intonation and stylization, and how you move through your different vocal registers. And there's a column, so I let you know what you do really well. It's a great tool to help build your confidence. And then I let you know where you could use some work. And then I also provide you links to free resources, so that, like, say I noticed, hey, you could really work on the transition between your chest voice and your head voice. Here are some free exercises from YouTube to help you work on that transition, right? So then you have exercises just for you that are from a professional vocalist, so that you know that they're the right exercises for you to be doing to improve your own singing voice. And then you take that feedback, you work on the things that I send you. And then if you're ready for another vocal assessment, you can just book another one. And that way you get to keep working on your voice and growing as a singer, but you don't have to commit to regularly scheduled lessons. So Belinda says, I would love a course. Awesome. That's so good to know. Thank you for the feedback. Cool. So I'm Tara. For those of you who are new here, thank you so much for joining me. I will be back tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I'll be live on both YouTube and on TikTok. And tomorrow's Warm-Up Wednesday, so I will walk you through my vocal warm-up routine as a professional singer. And if you have any questions on why I'm doing something, or what it's good for, or how you should structure your vocal practice, anything like that, that's what tomorrow is for. So Yeah, thank you, Timmy. I hope to feel I'm getting better every day. This has just been it started 2 Fridays ago, and it's just really hanging on. It's a lingerer. So, but anyway, I hope you all have beautiful days, and I will see you tomorrow. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being a part of the community, and I will see you soon. Take care, my friends. Bye.